We are continuing the 28-day ketogenic challenge. Go ahead and sign up in the comments or click the link wherever you're watching or listening to this, and I will put you on the F.A.S.T Track. That's your chance to learn in 28 days or 4 weeks what it took me 10 years of research and trial and error to discover. And today I want to talk about some of the problems with ultra-processed foods. Now, first definition, the difference between a processed food and an ultra-processed food. An ultra-processed food is something that has been so manipulated and mangled that it doesn't even resemble its natural form anymore. I brought some handy little visual aids here to illustrate, and my family has been waiting with bated breath for me to make this video so that they can indulge in some of these items that I've purchased to use as visual aids for this video. So, looking at the difference between an ultra-processed food like potato chips versus a real food like potatoes, and we're going to analyze all the metrics here, and I'm going to explain what is problematic about these foods. Now, first thing you need to know is there are two ways that your body decides when you've had enough to eat. Always in the mainstream media, calories are stressed more than anything. If we had a calorie meter that went off when we got enough calories, we could stop eating. That would solve the problem, but that's not the case. We have two ways to decide when we've eaten enough. The first is the protein content in the food. The second is the weight and volume of the food. So, starting off with weight and volume, the difference between potato chips and real potatoes, this is significantly heavier because the weight and volume and water content of the potatoes compared to this. If I were to crush this product, it would take up probably about this much space in the bag. So the rest of it is just air. And that's one of the reasons that we eat these type of foods uncontrollably. The main one is the protein content. So I'm going to start right there. This product has per serving 10 grams of fat, 15 grams of carbohydrate, and a whopping 2 grams of protein. So that is the main problem with ultra-processed foods. Thanks to the concept of protein leverage, we know that protein has a major role in how much of a food we're going to eat. We will eat enough until we get enough protein. Guaranteed. If we have to eat thousands of calories to get there, so be it. So that fictitious calorie alarm that I alluded to earlier doesn't exist. So we just continue to eat until we get enough protein or enough weight and volume of food. You will never eat enough of these chips to get a significant amount of protein. You'd have to eat roughly 20 bags to get the equivalent of one meal. To get 40 grams, you'd have to eat 20 bags. Care to guess how many calories are in a bag? I did the math before the video here. This is about 1,600 calories in this entire bag. That is a total of 80 grams of fat, 120 grams of carbohydrate. So that's like on the keto diet, that's about 5 days. This is like a week's worth of carbohydrate in one bag. And in exchange for all that dietary energy we just ate, fat and carbohydrate, those are both energy sources. In exchange for that, we got 16 grams of protein. Wow, okay. By comparison, this entire bag is 1,200 calories, so we're doing a little bit better. Here we got 240 grams of carbohydrate, so all of our energy is coming from carbs. There's no fat in here. Most people are probably going to add fat to it. They're going to add some butter or something like that, or sour cream, or both. But there's no fat content in a potato. So it is a low-fat food. 240 grams of carbohydrate in exchange for 20 grams of protein. So we only have to eat 2 bags of whole potatoes to get a meal worth of protein. And that was only 2,400 grams. So, in a day, maybe you could do that. What's going on here is, although we didn't hit our protein target with this food, we hit the weight and volume before we got there, so we would stop eating faster with this. Better solution here would be to prioritize protein. I just so happen to have one of my favorites here. By the way, I'm not affiliated with these people, but this product, White Oak Pastures, I happen to know the owner of this company is a farmer, Justin Harris, here in Georgia, Dallas, Georgia. That's pretty close, about 30, 45 minutes away from where I am. And he is a regenerative farmer. He's done a lot to promote the idea of regenerative agriculture. That is grazing animals, grazing ruminants as the foundation of the food system. And just can't say enough good things about Justin Harris. He's a great guy. Just a local farmer, you know, second, third generation farmer. And I support my local farmer. Okay, this is available in your local Kroger stores in the Georgia area, as well as maybe Publix and some other places. I think this is national. If you're in a different state and you're watching this, I think you can get White Oak just about anywhere. And they are from Dallas, Georgia. So I promote that local farm. Okay, over here we got in one hamburger patty, we got 21 grams of protein. So let's say we eat 2 of those to get our 40 grams, okay? That's not tons of fat. This is lean. This is 96% lean ground beef. That has 8 grams of fat per serving. Less than 1 serving of potato chips that people eat mindlessly like it's never a problem. But yet we're afraid to eat some beef, some red meat, you know, because we've been told this is terrible, this is harmful, don't do this, right? Do more of this, get your low-fat, heart-healthy, blah, blah, blah. The number one food most closely associated with obesity is potato chips. Just for the record, cereal is a close second. So everything that has a little heart-healthy stamp on it, that's actually contributing to the problem on a major scale. So look, as you get more healthy, okay, as the days and weeks go by, you could combine, you can mix and match your foods here, and you hit your protein target with less energy from fat and carbohydrate, okay? For now, if you're type 2 diabetic or pre-diabetic or overweight or obese, put the carbs on the back burner for about 5 days a week, okay? Not taking it away forever. Just like I told my family we'd have some potatoes on Friday. I'm going to eat these. I'm probably going to eat some of these too. I might even eat them together. Who knows? So hamburger, what's the difference between a hamburger with potato chips versus hamburger with whole potatoes? You hit your satiety with fewer calories. That's the main difference. Now, here's something really insidious that's going on. I told you earlier there's no protein or very little protein in here, so we're just going to eat and eat uncontrollably until we get enough. The food manufacturers discovered that if they made these foods salty and crunchy, that simulates protein in our brain, and we think there's protein in here. So we just keep eating until we try to get enough protein out of it, okay? That's one little trick. These guys took it a step further, and they made this fake flavor steak, Argentinian steak flavor, I guess because this guy's from Argentina, okay? So kind of like they used to do with the Wheaties box, they put the athlete on the front, eat the Wheaties and be like the athlete. This guy's some kind of soccer player, I think, from Argentina probably, hence the Argentinian steak. With that fake steak flavor on these chips, you're definitely going to think you're going to get some protein out of this. You're probably going to keep eating until you do get enough. Take the short route. Eat some meat. Build your diet around meat, okay? I'm not obsessed with some type of carnivore diet, like we're going to eat nothing but meat. But the idea is less processed food, more real food. Prioritize protein. And in nature, protein is usually accompanied by fat, okay? You want to limit your added fats, but the fat that's naturally found in the whole food sources, like meat and eggs, for example, it's not going to be problematic because it's automatically bound to enough protein, like I said, to hit that satiety signal. Everybody just eats until they get enough, okay? They eat when they're hungry and they stop when they're full. That's what everyone does. If you eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full with this food, you're going to consume thousands of calories. If you eat when you're hungry and stop when you're full with this food, a couple hundred calories, you're good. You got your protein, you got your nutrients. See where I'm going with that? So, okay, I hope all of that was clear. I'm going to go ahead and end this video. I'll be back soon with another one. And until next time, stay strong and enjoy the journey.